Inniu har trucha do conte na Héireann, Chassis public tána, a suivana banahela, le Comóra a dhéanamh éirí amach na Cásca in 1960, agus le Hamás a thuirt de na glúnta ar fad, a thug ar maithe ar san Saoirse agus náisiúntaach na Héireann. Cuimhníomid ar an star, agus féachimid I dro na todhachaí, agus sin timinte aisling léacra na poblachta a iarú, le fís a órógra a winch amach, le Héireann aontaithe a winch amach, agus fear poblacht a winch amach the Cork. Accordia, I'm deeply honoured to be here in Carrickmore, in the mighty county of Tyrone, to commemorate the event that changed the course of Irish history, the Easter Rising of 1916, when Irish men and women went out to overthrow Britain's imperial grasp on our country and to establish an independent Irish Republic. Those brave volunteers struck a blow for Irish liberty that reverberated around the world and down the generations. Like the Fenians and the United Irishmen before them, they attested the right of our ancient nation to be free. Ordinary men and women who did the extraordinary because they believed in Ireland and her people. The vision of the Irish Republic is captured powerfully in the proclamation. An Ireland underpinned by civic liberty, economic justice, democracy and equality. And that proclamation isn't a parchment from the past. It is a clarion call to the future. The mission statement for this generation of Irish Republicans to fulfil the dream of 1916, and fulfil it we will. Every nation that fought for independence has its sacred soil. A short walk from the GPO, where Pádraig Pearse first read aloud the proclamation, you come to the Moore Street area, the final battle site of the Rising. Today, Taoiseach Micheál Martin and his government back a British property developer's plan to forever destroy this historic area. Shame on them. He should instead back the master plan of the Moore Street Preservation Trust and the 1916 relatives, a plan that enhances our revolutionary history instead of tearing it down for profit. The Trust is fighting this obscenity through the courts, and we stand with them. The fight to save the Easter Rising battlefield site is far from over, because this history belongs to us all. The aspiration of Easter week resounded all across Ireland. That call was heard here in Carrickmore, where 60 volunteers assembled to take part in the rebellion, ready to fight for the Republic. The Rising was largely funded by the work of Joe McGarrity and Dr. Pat McCartan in the US, proud sons of Carrickmore. From the O'Neills to Tom Clark to Martin Herson, the revolutionary heritage of Tyrone inspires, and the soil of this proud county holds the graves of countless rebels who we honour here today. When the British executed the leaders of the Rising, they believed they had extinguished the desire for freedom, but they were wrong. The dream of the proclamation inspired the flying columns of the IRA in the fight against the Black and Tans, galvanised those volunteers who stood by the Republic through the tragedy of the Civil War, and soared in the hearts of our gallant H-Block hunger strikers. The counter-revolution ultimately saw Ireland partitioned and the establishment of two conservative states. Partition sowed division, kept the nationalist people down, saw their demand for civil rights ruthlessly suppressed, and planted the seeds of a very long conflict. This year marks 100 years since the Boundary Commission that copper-fastened partition. So a century ago, people here in Tyrone and across the 6 counties woke up on their farmlands, in their towns and villages, cut off from the rest of Ireland, excluded, abandoned, annexed by Britain. Treated as second-class citizens, you face prejudice, discrimination and conflict, but you carried on in the hope of peace, of unity, of freedom. Your resilience, your resolve to vindicate your rights as Irish people endured. And if, as patriot Liam Mello said, a nation is a living, breathing thing, then the Irish nation has lived and breathed here through the resilience of the people of Tyrone. We see that same resilience and strength today in the families of Sean Brown and Pat Finucane and so many others in their courageous fight for the truth. Justice delayed is justice denied, and the British government must now accept the unequivocal ruling of the High Court and grant a full public inquiry into the murder of Sean Brown. Time and again, the nationalist people have shown the tenacity to overcome, to build the peace, to reach for true reconciliation and a new future. Maybe it was always meant to be that the first nationalist to lead the executive is a woman from Tyrone. Michelle O'Neill, the First Minister for all, who is determined to make politics work for everyone. 27 years after the Good Friday Agreement, the North is a very different place. Together, communities are building a future of hope and progress for everyone. We see this new inclusive future forming in the advances of Irish language rights. We see it too in the passion of Northern Gaels for our national games. And let me be clear, Casement Park must be built. Casement Park will be built. Together, friends, we have built the peace, and now we write the next chapter of our nation's story, the reunification of Ireland. This is a time of great change. We are now living in the end days of partition as a new generation looks to the possibilities of unity with fresh hearts. The conversation is live, happening now in real time. So we must prepare for unity referendums in this decade. We have work to do. We have to build alliances across all sections of society. We must drive positive, persuasive campaigns in every corner of Ireland. We must prepare to win these referendums and win them well. Our job now is to keep the momentum going, to expand the conversation, to convince more and more people. We need to build this momentum here at home, in Britain, in North America and in Europe. A presidential election will take place in November. Remember, the President is President for all the people of Ireland. So we again call for the extension of voting rights in the presidential election to Irish citizens here in the North and to the diaspora overseas. Building a new and united Ireland is the most important task for a generation. And so it's not good enough for Taoiseach Micheál Martin to stick his head in the sand against the momentum for unity. To the Irish, and the British governments, I say, the days of treading water are over. It's time to plan. It's time to prepare for constitutional change and for reunification. So the next step must be for the Irish government to establish a citizens' assembly on Irish unity. And our message to unionism, to unionists, is this: the united Ireland we seek belongs every bit as much to families of Dungannon, to families on the Shankill, to the families of Carrickmore, to every family of Tyrone, and to the families of Dublin, Cork and Galway. A united Ireland is about everyone. A united Ireland is for everyone. So let's plan and prepare for that future. One island, one Ireland, one people, united, moving forward together. And our goal is to see a united Ireland take its rightful place amongst the nations of the world. A nation true to the values of the Irish people. Opposition to the mantra that might is right, to war, to imperialism. Upholding the ideals of international justice and peace. Principles illuminated by the motto of James Connolly's Irish Citizen Army. We serve neither king nor Kaiser, but Ireland. Ireland's military neutrality is now under direct attack from Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, and we will fight back against this at every turn. Neutrality is the foundation upon which Ireland champions engagement, dialogue and the primacy of human rights in the world. So if Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael are so confident that their plan to dismantle Ireland's cherished neutrality has the support of the public, then they should put that question to the people and they'll get their answer. Our struggle for nationhood is the struggle of a people longing for the freedom of our homeland. That's the dream of the Palestinians too. Today, they endure genocide at the hands of Israel's war machine. Children slaughtered, entire families wiped out, a nation being annihilated before the eyes of the world. This atrocity is backed and funded by the US, the EU, and by Britain. It's the result of the carte blanche impunity gifted to Israel by the international community. The Irish people know well the damaging legacy of colonisation, of dispossession and oppression. What Irish man or woman worthy of the name could do anything but stand with the Palestinians? In the cries of Palestinian children, in the heartbreak of Palestinian mothers and fathers, we hear the call of humanity itself for justice, for peace, for freedom. And Israel won't stop until it's made stop. So the international community must act, and Israel must be sanctioned. The Irish people will never stop raising our voices for a permanent ceasefire, for an end to the slaughter, for an end to apartheid, for an end to the occupation. Palestine will endure, Palestine will live on, and Palestine will be free. Friends, our journey to a new united Ireland, to a 32-county republic, is a journey we walk together. Political struggle has its breakthroughs and it has its setbacks. Following the general election in the South, we didn't end up where we had hoped to be. But yet, we returned the biggest group of Sinn Féin TDs since the historic election of 1918. So we are strong. So many people depend on us. The grubby deal done between Micheál Martin, Simon Harris and Michael Lowry shows just what we're up against. It proves the words of Liam Mellows prophetic. He said, "Men will get into positions, men will hold power, and men who get into positions and hold power will desire to remain undisturbed and will not want to be removed." But we will hold this do-nothing government to account. We'll fight the corner of ordinary workers and young people for housing, for healthcare, for a secure, affordable life and for a decent future in their own country. Here in the North, there is a strengthening realisation growing beyond the nationalist community that the British government simply doesn't care about those who live here. And their decision to pump billions into weapons of war while stripping back vital public services shows again that the future lies in a united Ireland. And we can do it. We can make this happen, be in no doubt. Just look at what we have already achieved together. We've ended the decades-old Fianna Fáil-Fine Gael monopoly. We lead the opposition in the Dáil. We're the largest party in the Assembly and in local government here in the North. For the first time ever, we've a Republican First Minister in a state designed to ensure that this could never happen. All of this has been achieved by Irish Republican activists who never gave up, never gave in, and kept their eyes on the prize. So now, this Easter, is a time to recharge Republican activism for the road ahead. We have to put all of our energy into building our capacity, building Republican politics, convincing even more people to play their part. So, if there's anyone here today who isn't active in Sinn Féin, come on board. Bring who you are to the table. Become a Republican activist. Help us to unite Ireland. Help us achieve the Republic. Accordia, the patriots we honoured today gave their all for the freedom of Ireland, for unity, for justice, for equality. So it falls to this generation to take up their mantle and fulfil that legacy, to stand in the Bharn of Wales and with courage reach for a united Ireland. Speaking in a British military court following the rising, Tomás McDonald declared that the proclamation cannot die. It lives today in every effort we make to realise its noble ideals. And so here we stand. And so here we stand together. Here we stand intent to finish the business of 1916. Here we stand for the day when we will commemorate our patriots in a united and free Ireland. So let's work day and night to fulfil the dream of Connolly and Pearse, of Herson and Farrell, of McGuinness and O'Hare. Hold tightly to your hopes, to your beliefs, to your determination. Never, ever give up. We will see the rising of the moon. We will unite Ireland. We will build that society where workers and families come first. And together, my friends, we will achieve the Republic of 1916. Banachtaí na Cásca, Oraibh go léir.